Hello everyone, my name is Hemu and today we are going to discuss how to configure the authentication between BGP and OSPF. So this is just a continuation lecture of your routing series and today we are going to discuss this part. How to configure the authentication between two neighbors where we are running OSPF and we are running BGP. RIP we will not configure because RIP generally not used in the production environment as well. OSPF and BGP you will see in the production environment. So let's try to understand that part. For that, I'm just using this particular lab where I'm running OSPF configuration or where I'm having OSPF on my inside and DMZ zone and I'm having BGP on my outside zone. So I'm running OSPF between these devices, these two routers, this router and firewall, DMZ router and firewall, right? And I'm running BGP between firewall and your Airtel ISP, firewall and your Tata ISP, Airtel ISP and the internet server, right? And your data center, DC server till the internet router. So I'm running BGP here and I will try to enable the authentication in this particular segment. So let's just discuss first how we can configure the OSPF authentication. So guys, OSPF has a three types of authentication. Type 0, where there is no authentication. This is the default behavior. Then we have a type 1 and we have a type 2. Type 1 is your normal password based authentication. And then we have a type 2, which is your MD5 hashed based authentication. Okay. So this is the normal authentication. So if you will see here, type 0, no authentication, type 1 plain text authentication, or type 1 that uses the simple clear text password. Type 2 is a MD5 authentication, or type 2 that uses the MD5 cryptographic password. Okay. So these are the two types of authentication which is supported by the OSPF. For this lab, I will basically refer these diagrams, this particular diagram where how to configure the plain text authentication, right? If you want to know about that, like as I have mentioned, OSPF supported three types of authentication. Null means type 0. This is also called type 0, or it means no authentication information is included in the packet header. It is the default one. Then we have a plain text authentication. This is also called type 1 and it uses the simple password, right? Then we have a MD5 authentication. This is also called type 2 authentication. See, authentication does not need to be set. However, if it is set, all the peer routers on the same segment must have the same password and authentication method. Okay. If you have configured the authentication on this device, then you have to configure here as well. Otherwise, this will not work properly. Okay. So meanwhile, let me just show you something. I'll go here. I'll go inside this inside R2 router and I'll just start the captures on F0x0 interface here. We just wait here. Now you can see we have received the OSPF hello message we are getting. Now what I will do, I'll go here. Let me just take the access of these devices. Because my major thing is how to basically configure this authentication between routing protocols in Palo Alto Firewall actually. In routers, you maybe already know, but in Palo Alto, people is not aware about that. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll go here, do so run section OSPF. I'll just copy this entire thing. No router OSPF 100. I have basically removed the OSPF thing. Now let me just copy. Let me just paste again. Do right, ma'am. And debug IP OSPF. You can enable the debugging as well. So we have multiple things. Now you will get some messages. Now go to into Wireshark captures and you can see here. You can see all the hello messages, then LSA update message, acknowledgement, right? Then they have a DB database description message, right? Again, so I think they have started the negotiation again on OSPF. You can see all these messages are there, right? So if you will see, if I'll just open the LSA update message, let's suppose. This is the information, right? You will get all the information here. Acknowledgement message, database description message. Okay. So right now we can able to see all the messages and everything we are able to see in the Wireshark captures. Now let's do one thing. Let's enable the password based authentication. So for that, what you have to do? Let me just disable the debug, debug all, and I'll go into my Palo Alto Firewall. First, we will configure this authentication on Palo Alto Firewall into network tab, virtual router, VR01, OSPF, authentication profile. Just go here and add the authentication profile. OSPF, auth profile. I will go first time. I will go with the simple password. I'll go here and I'll just configure the simple password, which is admin at 123. Admin at 123. The maximum length for this field is 8. Okay. So let me just go with here Cisco. Then Cisco and Cisco. Here I have used capital C in Cisco. Into area. Everything is fine. Now, what now in these interfaces, let's suppose I'm running OSPF on my DMZR4, DMZR5, and inside R2 router, right? Means I have Ethernet 1x3, 1x4, and 1x5. So I'll enable this particular authentication on all these three interfaces. I'll go here into Ethernet 1x3. Just configure the OSP auth profile. Click OK. Go here. Call your profile. Click OK. Go into the next one and call your profile. Once done, go ahead. Just do the commit. Now I'll go into my routers. In router, if you want to enable, you have to go here. Do so run section OSPF. Area 0 authentication. This is the command which you need to know. We will not add here any message digest. If you will add the keyword message digest, which means we are going with the MD5, okay? Because right now we are just going with the simple password based authentication. And after that, do so, or let's just go here. Now you have to go to inside this interface F0y0. IP OSPF authentication, and it will enable the password based simple password is authentication. Do right, ma'am. Straight here. Now you will see the renegotiation again on your OSPF packets in some time. Meanwhile, let me go inside my DMZ-R4. Let me just enable here as well. So IP OSPF neighbor. Now you can see there is no neighborship. I'll go here. So IP, not on this one, on this device. So IP OSPF neighbor. There's no neighborship. So run section OSPF. I have enabled the IP OSPF authentication, area 0 authentication, conft area 0 authentication. Don't have anything. Interface F0 by 0 IP OSPF authentication. We just have these terms. Just wait for a minute. So if you want to do the plain text configuration inside your interface, after this, you have to define your key actually. Okay. Otherwise, it will not work. IP OSPF authentication key, and key is Cisco. So this is the configuration which you need to do on this router. So IP OSPF neighbor, you can see we have the neighborship, and you can able to see all the messages here. Hello, then database description, then LSA request, right? And right now they are going through with the password based authentication. Now in similar way, you have to go to into R4 router, do so run section OSPF, area 0 authentication, interface F0 by 0, IP OSPF authentication key, Cisco. Do so IP OSPF neighbor. We have the neighborship. So this is the thing which you need to do. In your inside OSP process, you have to run this command, and you have to define the key inside the interface configuration. That's it. It will enable the password based authentication. Go here into R5, enable conft, do so run section OSPF, area 0 authentication, exit, interface F0 by 0, IP OSPF authentication key, Cisco. do so IP OSPF. Never, and you can see neighborship is there. Do so IP route. You can see we have all the routes as well. So that's how we have to enable the authentication. Then this is a like plain text authentication, which uses the clear text password. Okay, even though I'll go here, so run section OSPF. You can see this is the one which I have. This is the config which I did. Authentication key and key is Cisco, right? So you can able to see that key as well if you have enabled the password based authentication. In your Palo Alto Firewall, you run this command. So I routing protocol OSPF neighbor virtual router VR0. Go here. We have a virtual router detail, neighbor address, type is dynamic, status is full, area ID is this, lifetime is this. This is some hello updates and other things. We have a neighbor detail, we have a summary. This is regarding the summary here. Then we have an area detail. We are just having the area 0 here on this device right now. Then interface details you can able to see here. And you can see what is the authentication. Authentication type is simple password actually. So this setting you will get inside the interface configuration in your OSPF. Simple password, right? Now let's just change this authentication simple password to the message digest one. Go here, authentication profile, go inside this profile, go here MD5, key ID, can give any ID. So I'm giving here, let's suppose 1. Key is Cisco. I'm just giving the same key and I'm going with the preferred as well. So this is the preferred message. This is the preferred way. Go here and authenticate. Now you can go ahead into R2. Conti do so run section OSPF. Area 0 authentication. Message digest. You have to add this particular line. We have enabled the message digest one here. Do so run interface F0Y0. Go inside that interface config. Type no. IP OSPF authentication. Message digest. This is the one thing you need to do. Then IP OSPF authentication key, and you can put the password, which is Cisco. Now you will see your, and sometime you will be able to see the detail. Let me see the status of commit. Commit has been done. Do so IP OSPF neighbor. We don't have any neighbor sim, right? And now here you will get the steps. Configure the MD5 authentication. So you have to run this thing. IPSP message digest key 1, MD5, then Cisco, area 0, this one. So this is the config which we have to do. IP OSPF message digest key 1, MD5, Cisco. Do so run interface F0 by 0. This I have to remove. So these are the two commands we have to configure. IPS authentication message digest, then IPOSPF message digest key 1, MD5, Cisco. Now you can see they have exchanged the messages, right, of OSPF. Now if I'll go into R4 device, do so IP OSPF neighbor. We don't have any neighborship, right? So we have to do the config here as well. So run section OSPF. Go inside your router process. Remove this. Area 0 authentication message digest. Exit. Do so. Run interface F0 by 0. Go here. Run this no command. Then IP OSPF authentication key. Press question mark. IP OSPF. Come on. Authentication. Message digest. Then IP OSPF authentication key. I'm not getting that option. IP OSPF authentication. Copy these values. Go here. Well done. Okay. IPOSPF message digest. This is the one you have to use. IPOSPF message digest key. Okay, this is the command. I was trying wrong command that time. Do so IPOSPF neighbor. Now you can see I have the neighbor save which is up and running. Do so run interface F0 by 0. On this interface, you don't need this part actually. IP OSP authentication message digest, IP OSP message digest key. This is the only command which we needed. Now this is the setting. We have the neighbor set. Okay. Now go here on DMZ R5 router. Conft do so run section OSPF. Remove this. Then area 0 authentication message digest. Enter exit. Do so run interface F0 by 0. Go inside that interface and remove this value. Then IP OSPF authentication message digest. Then IP OSPF message digest key ID 1 MD5. Then we have to define the key, which is Cisco with capital C. Do show IP OSPF neighbor, and we have the neighbor say which is state is full. Done. So guys, this is how we have to configure the authentication in your OSPF. Now you will see all the details. Authentication type C, you will get all that detail, cryptographic. And we are using this authentication just to verify this router is communicating with the right device or not. And we have to configure the same password, then only this will work. So that's how guys we have to configure the OSPF authentication. Now let me just configure the BGP authentication between these two devices, firewall and my Airtel ISP and my Tata ISP router. How to do that? Go into your virtual router, BGP, in BGP. In advanced tab, we don't have anything. Peer group. Go inside this peer group. Go inside these peers. Connection options. Authentication is none. So let's create a authentication profile. BGP auth profile. What is the key I am using? I will use here admin at 123. Admin at 123. Click on OK. These are the timers and other thing. Go ahead and click on OK. Go inside this one and define your authentication profile. In advanced tab, we don't need to do anything. Click on OK. So now all these things you can able to see here. Registration profile, everything. Okay. The commit. Now just go inside your Airtel ISP router. Enable conft do so run section BGP. Go inside this router BGP process. Neighbor 151.7.250. Press the question mark. And we have to set the password, and this password will enable the authentication. Password Admin add 123. And sometime you will see this particular thing will come up. Do so IP BGP neighbor. BGP neighbor is in established state right now. And this time what I can do, let me just stop the captures here. And I really wants to enable the capture on this interface. We will see the process here, okay? On Ethernet 1x2. Wait here. We have some TCP connection because BGP runs on TCP port number 179. And guys, if you want a detailed, you can able to see how to configure MD5 authenticate between two BGP peers. This is the thing. What you just simply needs to define password. That's it. And this password will enable the authentication. No much configuration. So routing, route, protocol, type, BGP. You can see we have the BGP routes here coming from 150, 1.7.1. So routing route, so routing protocol, VGP, peer. Look for the peer details. Then here you will get all the details with regards to that peer. Password set, which is yes, which means I have enabled the password based authentication. This is the another peer. Password is also set here. So if I'll go inside this data, so IP, BGP, neighbor. BGP state is in active state, right? It is not in established state, means BGP is not established. Okay. So IP, BGP, you can see you just have routes from 170. We don't have any routes from firewall. Nothing. Now let me just enable the authentication here as well. Password admin add 123. As soon as I will enable it, open and other messages. Let's go here. Now you can see BGP neighbor server has just came up. Do sorry. So IP BGP neighbor. Include BGP. Right now there is a neighborship which is in set. This is the remote AS. State is established, means everything is good. BGP table version and other things. And right now we have enabled the authentication as well. Okay. You will see some update message here. These are the route details, right? Which they are exchanging with each other. Another update. path attributes, right? There's so many things. BGP is a big protocol, guys. And definitely I'm planning very detailed training on BGP, which includes around more than 250 plus labs on BGP and around 45 labs on OSPF. So I will go through with the advanced BGP and OSPF training actually. I will launch that course in few days. So that's how, guys, we have to configure the authentication, right? Now this time if you will see the peer details, password is set here as well and password is set here as well. And I have all the routes. So routing, route type, BGP, we'll get all the BGP routes. And guys, if you are having any issues, you have to always run this command less mplog route_d.log because this is the main daemon. And just go here and press Ctrl G or just Shift G. Yeah, Shift G will take you at the end. Now here you will able to see what's going on there. And if you just really wants to see the live logs, you can run this command debug routing global on a debug level, then tail follow yes mplog route_d.log. Just enable the debugging here. Go inside this router, run one simple command clear BGP all 65 as I have cleared the things. Now you can able to see published route message, return is success, right? Next hop IP address is this. All the details you are going to see. This is the one subnet which I have received. This is the another subnet which I have received. So this daemon, see all the routes details is also available here. If you go on top, you can see all the details here, right? Okay, so if if let's suppose what you did, I'll go here into this router. Let me just do one small thing. Okay, let me just change the password, and instead of configuring the admin address 123, I will configure something else. And what change happens in that case? Admin add 1234. Change it. And clear IP BGP all 65001. Now you can see you will get clearly one message here like neighbor 150 1.7.250 down. So in routers we are getting this clear message, right? Bad MTU, sorry, invalid MD5 digest coming from this device. Okay. So if there is any problem, we will get the details right away. Clear In clear, I think we don't have any clear routing. BGP, virtual router, VR0, state, peer, ISP, 01. I have clear everything, right? Pending state, socket is this. We have received, these are the mass packets which we are receiving. Come on. Process and acknowledgement, socket binding is correct. This is the problem, right? Close the socket here, right? They're trying to establish the neighborship, but they are not able to do that. But here we are not getting clear message. But here you can see there is an invalid message digest, right? If I'll just go here, do so run section BGP. I'll just change this value till one at the A123 till here. Configure the correct thing. Now you can see they have established and they have shared everything, and you can see your neighborship also came up. So this is how we can also sometimes do the troubleshooting if there is any issue with regards to the authentication. Less MP log. There's one more D1 called this. Okay, cool. So guys, that's it for this BGP and OSPF authentication lab. Thank you very much.